acknowledged that Benoit started having an affair with Nancy, Kevin's wife. Kevin would be in the ring wrestling, and Benoit would have her out, being romancing her and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely insulted Kevin in the worst way you could insult someone by doing something like that in the workplace. You know, everybody else knew. You know, and pride and everything. Benoit did about as bad a situation and Nancy as you could do. Okay. With that being said, Kevin, when he found out about it, never went and beat Benoit up. Never did nothing. He left him alone. And I asked Kevin, because Kevin's violent. He's violent. I said, Kevin, how'd you get over? You know, I mean, God, I got nuts. I don't know if I could have handled it or not. And he said, Mike, I lost my wife. I lost my brand new home on Daytona Beach. I lost almost all my money. I didn't want to lose my job. If I had said boo to Chris Benoit, I'd lose my job. And I didn't. That's all I had left. If I would have done that, she would have beat me. I lost everything. I went, that makes sense. I get it. So he never bothered Chris Benoit. He never did nothing. Nancy is a shit disturbing bitch. She had a real dark, evil side that unless you knew the family, you didn't know existed. So she was stirring Chris up all the time. Kevin's going to get you. You know, he's not the kind of guy to let you do this. So every time you'd go home, Nancy was yapping, keeping Chris wired up.
Getting them started.
And Kevin Sullivan got the booking job. I called him the Band of Midgets. Benoit, Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn,
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero. They all went to our boss. Dak was another TV Bill. Nice guy. He was an accountant. Now they thought he could run wrestling. He was the accountant for WCW. How are you going to run wrestling as an accountant? But he was a nice guy. He tried. He was polite. He was nice. They go to him and say, we can't trust our careers in the hands of Kevin Sullivan. And because Mike Graham is his friend and a road agent, we want Kevin fired and we want Mike fired. Just because. So the guy, Bill Bush was his name. So Billy says, well, tonight, he said, either fire him or we're going to New York. So Bill said, well, we're talking to you, trying to talk you out of this. Do you do any good? No. You got to be fired or we're leaving.
Awesome, fired.
I guess you're going to be leaving then because I won't be threatened. And I'm not going to fire someone for no reason. He said, I can't fire them. What have they done? They haven't done anything. Can't just fire somebody for the heck of firing them. So Bill comes and tells me and Kevin, we're in Cincinnati, Ohio. And and so he comes and tells us that they want us fired just because they can't trust Kevin because of his relationship with Nancy, and he never got back at Benoit, and that because he was the booker, he was going to ruin his career, do all stupid. And Kevin had nothing but respect for Benoit in the ring. You know, he didn't agree with what he had done personally, but as far as in the ring, he was good, and there was no problem. So I was livid. So I walked out of the dressing room, and I found Benoit in the dressing room. I said, you come with me. We got to have a talk. I walked him out in the middle of the arena where nobody else was around. And I said, I just had a talk with Bill Bush. I said, Kevin has done nothing ever but compliment your work and say what a great guy you are in the ring and want to give you a push and thinks, you know, that you could make money and all that kind of stuff. I said, me, I don't think you'll draw a dime. But Kevin does. Me, if you'd have taken my wife and my money and humiliated me in the workplace in front of all my friends, and if you'd have done to me what you did to Kevin Sullivan, I said, I'd beat your ass every time I saw you.
Mm.
Every day. Every time I saw you, you'd get an ass whipping. You'd done that to me.
Hey,
Because I said,
I I agree with him on that part. But when people, he said on the other interview, oh boy, and I like Chris, because I remember when he came in '93. I think he probably went back to Japan, and he came back again in '95. I remember he came in. He came in first the first time. He had the long hair. Then he cut his hair a little bit. I remember he came in. I was, but yeah, that's bad there. And y'all got to see each other every day, every day. And, oh man, know about that.
you shouldn't have done it. It was wrong. And I said, but now you're trying to take my job because I'm Kevin's friend? You didn't bang my old lady. You didn't embarrass me. You didn't do anything to me. But I'm Kevin's friend. You want me to get fired? That takes food and money from my family now.
Mm.
And you're doing it just because you're spiteful. I said, if you mess with me, I'll cut your head off. I'll put it on a stick in your front yard so all the neighborhood kids can come to Rockside.
Ooh, woo.
I said, I'm not Kevin Sullivan. I don't care about losing my job. I don't care about anything else. If you mess with my livelihood, I will come get you. Now you take that back and figure it out. And he looked at me. JJ and I was talking about that this morning. He runs back to the back. Hour later, JJ comes and gets me. He says, "Oh, Mike, I can't believe." And he was kind of laughing. He said, "I know you did it. I'm not even going to ask you if you did it. I know you did." I said, "You know I did what, JJ?" I just got a call from Human Resources. Benoit called him and said that he had to leave here immediately because you threatened his life. I just looked at JJ and kind of smiled. I said, "You know, that's a bunch of crap, James." I said, "Did I say I would beat him up if he had taken my wife and humiliated me like he did Kevin?" Yeah. So he's trying to take my job, so of course he's going to talk trash about me. But did I say I was going to kill him? No, I never said that. So he said, "Well, you got to call the lady at the Human Resources." So I had to get on the phone, I had to call her, I had to explain everything to her. In the meantime, they all left, and I looked at it as though we saved the company. Their salaries combined was almost $3 million, and they never drew a dime. I got the minute-to-minute reports from all the TVs. People were changing the station when they were coming on. Never drew a dime. So I kind of laughed when they left. I didn't care.
I don't know, but it's weird. They did all right when they went to WWF back then. I don't know. And to this day, which I don't know why, they're still trying to get that man in the Hall of Fame. They're begging for it. I don't see it. Douglas will get in the Hall of Fame before him. Come on now, because I don't see it. They're not going to let him in there. So, but yeah, because Benoit did good and Eddie did good. What's his name? Malenko and what's the name was so, but 2 out of 4 it did good. And some about people ready to cut not cut it off, cut the station somewhere else. I don't know about all that now. Because even in WCW, Eddie and Chris and them, with the matches with Mysterio and all that. Come on now, those are classics.